What if one cold night at Soldier Field marked the beginning of a new era in Chicago Bears history? An era defined not just by a quarterback's arm, but by confidence, chaos, controversy, and comeback. In the frozen heart of Chicago, under playoff lights that hadn't shined this bright in 15 long years, Caleb Williams delivered a performance that changed narratives, reignited a rivalry, and sent shockwaves across the NFL world. And while Williams was busy orchestrating one of the most dramatic playoff comebacks the Bears have ever seen, another storyline quietly stole attention in the stands and on social media, one involving rumored girlfriend and influencer Ash Kaashh. Welcome to NFLXposed, where we break down the moments, the myths, and the moves that define the league beyond the box score. The Chicago Bears entered Wild Card Weekend carrying the weight of history on their shoulders. 15 years without a playoff win is not just a drought, it's an identity crisis for one of the NFL's most storied franchises. Soldier Field, known for its unforgiving wins and unforgiving fans, was packed with believers, skeptics, and lifelong rivals wearing green and gold. The Green Bay Packers, Chicago's most hated adversary, stood in their way once again. This wasn't just a playoff game. It was a referendum on the Bears' rebuild and on Caleb Williams as the face of the future. From the opening kickoff, the game did not go according to Chicago's script. The Packers came out aggressive, confident, and composed, jumping to an early lead that silenced the crowd. By halftime, the scoreboard told a brutal story: Green Bay 21, Chicago 3. The Bears' offense looked out of sync. Williams had already thrown interceptions, and the ghosts of past playoff failures seemed to hover over the field. Social media was ruthless. Critics questioned Williams' decision-making, his readiness for playoff football, and whether the Bears had once again crowned a quarterback too early. But football games, and careers, are not defined by halves. They are defined by responses. While fans huddled in the cold and analysts debated whether the Bears were finished, something shifted in the Chicago locker room. Caleb Williams, the former generational prospect, didn't panic. He didn't shrink. He recalibrated. What followed after halftime was not just a comeback, it was a statement. The Bears' offense came out with urgency, tempo, and belief. Williams began attacking the field vertically, using his legs to extend plays and his arm to challenge the Packers' secondary. Drive by drive, Chicago chipped away at the deficit. The defense tightened up, forcing stops and limiting Green Bay's options. Momentum, that invisible but powerful force in football, slowly swung toward the Bears. Soldier Field came alive again, every completion and first down amplifying the roar of a fan base starving for postseason success. As the fourth quarter arrived, the Bears transformed from underdogs into predators. Chicago scored 25 points in the final quarter alone, an explosion that stunned the Packers and left their sideline reeling. Caleb Williams, despite finishing the game with a mixed stat line, 24 completions on 48 attempts for 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, delivered when it mattered most. His numbers didn't tell the full story. His poise did. Williams extended drives with his legs, picking up crucial yards on scrambles when protection broke down. He took calculated risks, trusting his receivers and his preparation. Most importantly, he refused to let earlier mistakes define the outcome. The final score, Bears 31, Packers 27, was more than a win. It was Chicago's first playoff victory in a decade and a half, and it came against their most bitter rival. While the football world focused on Williams' redemption arc, another narrative quietly gained traction before the game even kicked off. As fans arrived at Soldier Field, social media lit up with clips and photos of Ash Kaashh, the Instagram model and influencer rumored to be dating the Bears quarterback. Bundled in a stylish coat and headcap, Kaashh shared videos on her Instagram story that quickly spread beyond her following. In a city known for grit and toughness, her presence added a flash of celebrity intrigue to an already electric atmosphere. Later that night, Kaashh posted a photo hinting at a date at the Allston, a well-known Chicago restaurant. She didn't reveal who she was with, but the timing and context fueled speculation. By then, many fans already believed what NFL personality Dov Kleiman had claimed before Christmas, that Caleb Williams and Ash Kaashh were dating. Neither Williams nor Kaashh has publicly confirmed or denied the rumors, but the internet rarely waits for official statements. Ash Kaashh is no stranger to attention. As an influencer, she has built a massive following by sharing fashion, beauty, and lingerie content across social media platforms. Her appearances at Bears games over the past few weeks didn't go unnoticed, and each sighting only added fuel to the rumor mill. In the modern NFL, where players are brands as much as athletes, personal lives often become part of the public narrative, wanted or not. For Caleb Williams, this attention marks a new chapter. Before entering the NFL spotlight, Williams was known to be dating his high school sweetheart, Alina Thiergod. Reports surfaced that the two broke up in the summer of 2025, months before Williams' rookie season reached its peak. Since then, Williams has kept his personal life relatively private, focusing publicly on football and leadership. The Ash Kaashh rumors, however, signal how quickly the spotlight can shift once success arrives. Still, it's important to separate performance from perception. On the field, Williams' wild card performance was complex. Critics will point to the 2 interceptions and the completion percentage as evidence of inconsistency. Supporters will counter with the yardage, the fourth-quarter explosion, and the intangible leadership that sparked the comeback. Both can be true. This was not a perfect game, but it was a defining one. Great quarterbacks are not remembered for flawless stat lines. They are remembered for moments. For resilience. For refusing to lose when everything seems stacked against them. In that sense, Caleb Williams passed a crucial test. Trailing by 18 points at halftime against the Packers in the playoffs is the kind of scenario that breaks young quarterbacks. Williams bent, but he did not break. The Bears' comeback also speaks to a broader shift within the organization. For years, Chicago has struggled to find stability at the quarterback position. From draft busts to short-term fixes, the franchise cycled through hope and disappointment. Williams represents a different approach, a quarterback drafted not just for arm talent, but for creativity, confidence, and adaptability. This game validated that investment, at least for one night. As the final seconds ticked off the clock and Soldier Field erupted, the significance of the moment was impossible to ignore. Fans embraced, some with tears in their eyes. Players celebrated on the field, aware that they had exorcised at least one long-standing demon. The Bears were moving on to the divisional round, where they would face either the Philadelphia Eagles or the Los Angeles Rams, 2 teams with their own Super Bowl aspirations and far less patience for mistakes. The road ahead will not be easy. Williams will need to clean up turnovers, improve efficiency, and continue developing chemistry with his receivers. The defense will need to replicate its second-half dominance against even stronger opponents. And the spotlight, both football-related and personal, will only intensify. That's the price of relevance in the NFL. Yet moments like this are why teams draft quarterbacks first overall. This is why fans endure losing seasons and rebuilds. Because when it finally clicks, when the lights are brightest and the stakes are highest, everything changes. One game can shift perception. One comeback can redefine a career trajectory. As for Ash Kaashh, her presence added a modern layer to a classic football story. The intersection of sports, celebrity, and social media is now inseparable, and Williams is stepping fully into that reality. Whether the rumors are true or not, they reflect how closely every move of a franchise quarterback is watched, on and off the field. In the end, the wild card win will be remembered first and foremost for what happened between the lines. Caleb Williams led the Chicago Bears to a comeback that will be replayed for years, especially in rivalry lore. Against the Packers. In the playoffs. After 15 years of waiting. That combination alone makes it historic. But like all great NFL moments, this one exists within a web of narratives, performance, personality, pressure, and perception. And that's exactly where NFLXposed thrives. We don't just tell you what happened. We break down why it mattered, what it means, and what comes next. So as the Bears prepare for the divisional round and Caleb Williams steps further into superstardom, remember this night at Soldier Field. Remember the doubt, the comeback, the chaos, and the conversations it sparked. Because in the NFL, legacies are built one defining moment at a time, and this might have been the moment Caleb Williams truly arrived. This is NFLXposed, where the game behind the game is always on display. Stay locked in, stay informed, and we'll see you on the next breakdown.